Here we have a project with multi-track recorded acoustic drums. You'll notice at the top of the project are the guide tracks. These are split into a track just containing the programmed drums and then all the other backing instruments for the drummer to play along with. These will also be very useful in recording other parts to check for their accuracy. For this recording, there was one mic on the kick, two on the snare, one for the toms, space pair overheads, and then a room mic. So you'll notice that all the drums have several takes, which is great because we can choose the best performances. However, if we make an edit on one track, the others will stay the same, and this will cause horrible phasing and timing issues as they are on different performances. So we're going to set up our groups. We'll press X on our keyboard, and then we're going to select all of the recorded drum tracks, go to the input section up at the top, and choose No Input. This is going to save on our CPU and will also stop you from accidentally monitoring your computer's microphone. Next, go to the clear box above Read, left click and choose New Group. Name this group Drums, and then from this drop-down menu we want to select Editing, Quantize Locked Audio and uncheck Volume, Mute and Input. Although volume could be useful, for this case we don't need it. In the Arrange window, so if we press X to close our mixer, you'll see a green Q on all of the tracks. It's all about quantizing. Okay, we only want our kick and our snare track to be on, as these are the parts of the kick that keep the most consistent timing and rhythm throughout. These are now going to be a reference for Logic. Now when you open a take folder and choose a different take on any track, it will change all of the other tracks to that take. You can then do precise editing for small sections to choose the best takes to put together, and Logic will automatically add crossfades to avoid any pops or clicks. You should now listen back with the backing track click turned on and listen for any inconsistent hits, timing errors or parts played wrong, and try to comp the best takes together. This will take a long time, but it's vital that you do it. In this recording, the very first kick drum has been cut off when recorded, but it's really annoying as it's played solo at the start of the track, and there was a kick recorded in take 1, so we should be able to take that and comp it into this. You need to make sure that it crossfades at a good point. In the middle of a drum transient will cause issues like this. Try moving it back or forwards to avoid cutting into the transient. Now it's a seamless edit and has saved us a lot of problems that would have occurred later on if we hadn't listened back now. After you've made all your edits and have the perfect comp take, it's time to flatten and merge this into new files. At this point you should also save the project, just in case you need to go back and make an edit. We're going to click on the box in the middle, choose Flatten and Merge, and this is then going to merge these into whole new files so that we don't have these take folders anymore. Now we need to turn flex time on and set the mode to slicing. Because we have a group, it's going to do it for every track for us. Once it's done, it might take a bit of time, you'll then see this view. Now in the region inspector, we can choose a quantize value. This method can be really effective for simple patterns, but it can create errors, so it's always worth trying out before looking at an alternative editing technique. You now see that Logic has snapped this to the grid, and it's used our kick and snare as a reference. You can change through and change the quantize value, and it may work. As you can hear for this one, it is creating some cool errors, but they're not going to be cool for this project. So we'll turn flex time off, and we'll look at a different technique. The other way you can correct timing errors in a drum recording is to use slip editing. By chopping up sections and moving them onto the grid, this is very effective, but time consuming. And once you start, you'll be noticing other things that you want to fix. And it's important to still try and keep that human groove. So for example, if we have a look at the kick in bar 4, it's a little bit in front of the beat. So we can use our scissor tool on our secondary tool. And now we press Command. We can make a cut on all of the files and then move to the next kick down beat and make another edit. So we now have this kick and snare pattern. We can then zoom in and move this on to the beat. Now, this will mean that we'll have to edit other files as we now have a gap. If we go to the beat before, at the start of bar 3, we can move this kick onto the grid as well. Now we can drag back the audio and Logic will automatically create a crossfade, similar to in the comp editing. And we can move that kick forward a bit so it's on time, and then just pull it back, create a crossfade, and now we have this section that's been edited and is now on the grid, but still has some of that human feel, bits in between. And those are just the ways that you can start to edit your multi-track recorded drums. Now there's lots to it, but the best thing to do is to just keep practicing.